Hey guys, Colbert here. Welcome to another Rachel Legends video. Guys, this one will be basically an account takeover for a Kreela, Maneater, Painkeeper, Unkillable. It's the same concept as, the usual budget Unkillable, but this one uses a Kreela, which is an all-ally attack. What the all-ally attack usually brings is the problem of Painkeeper getting extra attacks. Those extra attacks give Painkeeper extra turn meter, and that usually would take this team out of sync. That Jedi did a perfect video on this before, but this one is just I'm going to showcase the team versus Force Affinity. It works the same way, the same setup on Void Affinity and Magic Affinity, but on Spirit you need to change that a bit. And if you want to learn more about that, then you can go over to Deadwood Jedi's website to see the steps for Spirit Affinity. But for all the other affinities, this will work. The speeds will work as I will show them now. And yeah, you just need to have a weak affinity slow boy. The slow boy here is going to be Frozen Banshee. We're going to look at the speeds and what is required by each champion right before we go to the run, and then I'll show you the steps for the run, for the setup, so you can copy it too if you want to use a Kreela in there just to get a bit of extra damage. So before we get to that, I'm going to say that this team on Void does about 35 million damage with the same gear. And if we don't use, for example, Septimus there, and we use Frozen Banshee, this account has 2 Frozen Banshees, and I've built the other one to be as fast as Septimus. So you can basically put any champion into Septimus' place, but the highest damaging ability champions in this account is basically Septimus and Frozen Banshee that could work in this setup. So let's go over and see the champions. But if you guys are interested for an account takeover, I'm also doing a takeover giveaway, so check that out in the community post that I posted on my channel. It's basically for free. All you have to do is download World War Do, a game that I'm also playing, go all the way to power 300, and also join my crew called the Brew Crew. That's it, basically, and you get a free account takeover. So Maneater, you have to build your Maneater, guys. It's very strict in terms of speed. 248 speed on the Maneater, and then you have to focus on getting critical rate and critical damage as much as you can. Gives you bigger numbers, of course, by the end of the run. 248 is strict in terms of speed. Then we go, of course, to his skills. He needs to have this maxed out. And then masteries, I went for War Master and then support tree, getting this Lore of Steel. Lore of Steel is not required. You can even go Retribution if you want to get some extra damage. I think it would be better, but if you're missing out on speed, you're having difficulties with your glyphs like this account had, then going for that extra bit of speed through the support mastery then may be beneficial for you. So next up, it's gonna be Painkeeper. Painkeeper is another essential champion. By the way, guys, defense for these champions, for all of them except the slow boy, as always, you need to have as much defense as possible, but then the health needs to be the lowest as possible on the slow boy. We'll go over the slow boy stats in a bit. And then Painkeeper again with almost 40,000 health there, lower than 40,000 health, 2.3k attack, 223 on speed, very strict, 100% crit rate, 133 critical damage. And then we tried to get masteries. We get War Master here. We didn't go defense tree for the retribution, and we went the support tree to get Lore of Steel and Evil Eye. Evil Eye is not useful here, but there's nothing else to pick here. Honestly, you don't need Lore of Steel. Lore of Steel might give you some problems, so if you can avoid it and you do have the glyphs to make that extra jump for 1, 2, 3, or 4 speed, then I'd rather not go Lore of Steel, but this Painkeeper had it already and I left it as it was. Then next up, it's of course our Kreela. Kreela can stay at 172 speed. That's quite low, but it definitely works this way that it does. 93% crit rate, 222 critical damage. Again, trying to get some health and defense. So over 2,000 defense if you can, while also getting that attack percentage wherever you can to boost your attack and boost your damage overall. Your skills need to be maxed out, of course. And then we went War Master and then defensive tree. We didn't go for the Retribution Mastery here because her A1 can cause a problem with this setup because it gives a shield buff to the ally with the lowest HP. You don't want that. It can mess up the teams usually, but 172 for the speed there, and then as much damage as you can. Then going over the damage dealers, the same way that I built for Frozen Banshee, the quick Frozen Banshee, for the quick setup that I mentioned before. So Septimus, this is how he's going to work in this setup. Let's go over 232 in his speed, 242 accuracy. We need that accuracy for his extension to land. As much critical rate and critical damage as you can. If you can get it higher, then that's great. And as much attack, of course, as you can, while also keeping your defense higher than the slow boy. Of course, now we're at weak affinity. So the Frozen Banshee will definitely be getting stunned, and Septimus will never get stunned because he is strong affinity versus force. And of course, his skills, I think, are maxed out. Yeah. And then we went for War Master here just to get that extra bit of damage for Septimus. And then finally, guys, the slow boy, the target that needs to get stunned all the time by the boss, and how it works always with this budget Unkillables with one Maneater. Here she is, Frozen Banshee, the second Frozen Banshee of this account. 1.5k defense while having 43,000 health. So keep that in mind. Always the highest health from all the team, then the lowest defense from all the team will usually get you there. As low, you can just try and get as low defense as you can. If you can get it even lower than this, then it's great. But you know, the classic arena and great hole bonuses definitely, get this higher without you even trying. So I even remove the shield from this one just to get it as low as I can, 1.5k. So on this one, I try to get as much accuracy as possible while keeping 123 speed, which is strict 123 speed, and it works like that. If you can get critical rate gloves instead and get this damage rate higher while also keeping the health high, then that's great. But this one has health on every single one of these items right here. The skills are all booked, and then War Master, and then of course Master Hexer, because she is Frozen Man. She needs that extra bit of chance to get her debuffs going for 3 turns instead of 2. So that's the team basically, guys. The speeds are very strict, and of course these speeds only work for Force, Void, Magic. The Spirit Affinity, you need to change some things up. If you want to see that out, as I said, go to Deadwood Jedi's website. Right, guys, so now we're going to go into the boss. I'm going to explain the whole setup and how it works. So the way that this team works is you basically have a champion at a 4-3 rotation, which is Septimus. You can put any champion there that you want to have extremely fast. At 232, that's how he's going to work. But Kreela here is weak affinity. Frozen Banshee is weak affinity, so her damage is going to be inherently low. If you want to change those up and put something that's strong affinity instead of Kreela, then you can do that. But this is only for force. For other affinities, you can keep Kreela in there. That all ally attack gets your damage up. On Void and Magic that I've tested before also, this team can get 35-36 million damage. And that's pretty good. That's a 2-key team. Of course, that can go even higher with much better gear than what this account has. So let's go in with the rotation. I'll show you the rotation. It's A3 on Maneater first. Then we go A2 with Septimus. We don't do anything with Painkeeper just yet. A1. Then we do A1 with Kreela. Don't do any of her skills. A1 or A2 with Maneater works. A3 here, hopefully we don't get a weak hit. Always, I get always a weak hit here. So we go A2 with the Painkeeper. Of course, guys, you can reset. If you see that you get a weak hit, you can actually reset the run and go again by just closing the app. You're not going to lose your key. And then we go A3 with Kreela. A1 with Septimus. Go A1 with Painkeeper, not A3. A1 there with Maneater. There we go. The stun goes right on Frozen Banshee because she is weak affinity. That's when we go A2 with Kreela. That's all ally attack in there. We do want that that Frozen Banshee's poison sensitivity to go right now. And this is when we use our A3. So we used A3 on Painkeeper right before that, and now we use A3 right before the boss. That's his big A2, big AoE damage, not A2, yeah. So let's see, hopefully we land a poison sensitivity with Frozen Banshee so we can start getting some damage going on this boss. There we go. Okay, now Septimus is going to be using his A1, which can possibly extend that and get us more damage throughout this whole fight. So you saw that giant Slayer, giant killer passive that he has. This team is going to be about a 3-key So let's go and skip through this whole thing, and I'll show you guys the damage in the end. So guys, we're back. We're about turn 46. We had a great run, actually 35 million damage so far, because we did have all our poisons and poison sensitivity throughout, and Septimus was actually doing what he's supposed to be doing. We had some good luck with that. He was extending everything, but then around turn 42 it fell off. I think he just had a very bad luck with his extension, so it fell off. And then, yeah, it's gonna cap out about 37, maybe. Maybe it's gonna cap out around there. So no poisons on the boss, but Septimus was doing what he's supposed to do. So 37, maybe 37 million. It's amazing. It's a 2 key. It's definitely needs some more work in terms of gearing. But yeah, what more do you want from a budget team being a 2 key Ultra Nightmare? So there it is, guys. Septimus 6.9. And the slow boy Frozen Banshee did at 20.9 million. Well, it was because of Septimus, but all the others did about 3 million, 2.5, 3.7. This can go a bit higher, but nothing too crazy because it's just them critting. There's no counterattack, there's no defense down, there's no weaken debuffs. Yeah, the poisoners are the best things about these unkillable teams with Maneater and Painkeeper. So guys, thanks a lot for watching this video. If you're interested in me building a team for you in account takeover, I do offer more information on those on my Discord channel. There's a link down below in the description. I'm also doing a free giveaway for an account takeover. So if you want to not pay for it, so that's your chance. And it's just by playing another game for a bit. The other game that I play, World War Those. So thanks a lot, guys, for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. And guys, I'll see you in the next one. See ya.